Hey, this is Chris Ellis, your friendly neighborhood business coach, and welcome to Boss Talk with Chris. I'm very excited today because today is our very first episode. I'm going to do it just kind of like a season where I have like 10 or 12 episodes, and it'll be like a weekly thing that I'm doing here. Um, and I'm really excited because, again, this is just the first one. And if you can see me out there, I got on a dope black dad shirt. You know what I'm saying? Got the belly roll, so it's creasing up in all the wrong places. Today we're just gonna have some fun. Yeah, man. What are we doing? So let me first and foremost just really just talk about the show. So, what is this show? You will learn more about this later, but this show, this broadcast, is really a place where I am setting a space to consistently prove to you, to doubters, to people who are overthinking their lives, overthinking money, overthinking business, and I am here to prove to you that unleashing your hidden boss reflexes, unleashing your natural born boss or your hidden boss, your inner boss is the most critical step in winning in business. And that's what this is about here. But more importantly, I'm going to help you avoid common mistakes that like amateurs make when it comes to becoming entrepreneurs and just making money in general. So today's subject is how to unleash your kick-ass self. And if you stick around to the end, I promise you that I have a giveaway. I have a special thing that I want to give you here. It's going to be a free master tool that you can use to start launching your business ASAP. So please stick around to the end. It should only take about 20 minutes or so, like that here. I got a whole script that times everything here. So as long as I just stick to that, we should be like gone in 60 seconds, or in this case, 20 minutes. Yeah. So a little bit of an intro about me. My name is Chris Ellis, and I am a business entry coach. Oh, before I even go there, if you are tuning in, make sure that you say what's up, leave a comment, or let you know that you're hearing me or that you're not. I got these things on my headphones here, so I'm hoping this is broadcasting the way it should, but it may not be. So let's hope that it is. So, again, just an introduction to me. I am Chris Ellis, and I am a business entry coach. What that basically means here is that I help creative, ambitious, business curious people safely enter the world of business here. And I do that by helping them unlock and unleash their hidden boss like reflexes here. Now, as far as my mission is concerned, my mission is very simple. I want to show people how easy and how simple it can be to make money off of your ideas, your interests, your thoughts, your knowledge, and your skills. That's what I'm interested in doing here, and that is absolutely my mission here. As far as like deeper background here, what's interesting is that I really, even though I'm a business coach, and I say that I'm a business coach, I never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur initially because my background is actually in art. When I was 3 years old, I sat down with a pen and paper and taught myself how to draw. And then by the time I was 18, I was working for a small press publishing company, drawing comics. And that was just like, at that point, a lifelong dream for me. Like, I either wanted to do two things. I either wanted to like draw like Marvel comics, or I wanted to like be in animation here. So I spent 15 whole years just putting my nose to paper and just drawing for hours and hours and hours on end, going to the library, learning as much as I can, like renting books or actually checking out books on how to draw, anatomy, all types of stuff like that, and taking everything, every class that I could just to learn how to do that. And by the time I was 18, I was blessed enough or fortunate enough or talented enough, whatever you want to say, to actually hook up with someone in not Cincinnati, but in can't even say the city anymore. It's Chicago. Yes, that's where I went to school, and I ended up finding a group of individuals that helped me. That actually had a small press publishing company that they were actually launching, and I ended up being a part of that inaugural launch. And I was really proud of the work that I did there here. So it was a very exciting time here. But I wasn't just a visual artist. Like in my opinion, like I am an all around creative. Like as far as my like, here's my resume here. Here's everything that I got a chance to accomplish before I was 18. So obviously, I was a an artist, a visual artist here, and by the time I was 18, I was working for that small publishing company. But before that, I actually was doing freelance work and actually doing T-shirt designs and stuff like that, and actually getting paid to do that. I won a competition in order to do that for like the YMCA. They had an art competition, and I ended up getting first place, so I got a cash prize for that. Plus, I was doing T-shirt designs on the side. Plus, I was I was actually obviously I was too young to actually be a tattoo artist, but what people would do is they would say they want a tattoo, and then they would hire me to actually do the artwork to give it to the people that actually do the tattoos for them. So I used to make custom things, and this was by the time I was 17. Before that, I was actually really good at creative writing and writing and expressing my feelings and stuff like that. So by the time I was in high school, I actually had been in my local newspaper about three times, but two times specifically for my writing. So not even that. It was a competition where I was able to write an article in such a way that it actually won, and it became an editorial article in the local newspaper. So it wasn't like school newspaper. It was like legitimately in the Lima newspaper that I went to school for. So Lima City News. I'm out there. I was out there like I did it 2 months in a row, I think. So I was pretty good at writing too. I was a slam poet. So if you don't know what slam poetry is, it's almost like competitive poetry where you get on stage and you're like my black queen, and like you go into your love is as deep and wide as the ocean, like that kind of like that kind of stuff. but but they used to have poetry competitions, and I remember by the time I graduated high school, or right before it, I had a huge right before graduation. I was a double major at the Cincinnati School of Creative and Performing Arts. I was like burning the candle on both ends, trying to keep up with both majors. I was a creative writing major and I was an art major. And I remember right before graduation, I had all these projects to do, and then I had to be in a citywide slam poetry competition as well too, which I actually tied for first place. So all city slam poetry champion. So those are all the things that I did by the time I was 18. In fact, by the time I was a freshman in college, before my college, for my freshman year was over with, I had actually launched a freelance service, freelance graphic design service. So the average day for me as a college freshman was like wake up, go to school, get my assignments, then go to the computer lab, do some work for myself, but then go downstairs, and there was a Kinko's across the street. I used to go take my art projects that I was actually getting paid for, give them the mock-ups of it, have them printed out, and I would like cut up business cards and stuff like that, and flyers, posters, stuff like that, so I can actually go across town to meet people in order to give them the stuff that they paid for, that they had done commissions, that I had done commissions for, and then I would just hightail it back. I would go work a work study job as a assistant teacher or a teacher's aide, and then I would go home, drop everything I would need to drop, then go across town again, and then do like a poetry open mic slam, and then finally come home and like at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I would wake up and do it all over again. So so uh, I was busy. um, I say all that to say that I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur at any point doing all of that stuff, even though I was actually making money. I was actually, because I thought like business people looked a certain way. You know, I thought that business people had suits on and had ties on and did business meetings and had employees and stuff like that. I never saw myself as that here, and I really didn't see myself like that until recently, until I became a life coach, and became a life coach about 6 years ago, and I was just doing helping people learn general skills, and then I started teaching people how to make money, and then it clicked for me that I was actually to teach these people. I was drawing from like 20 years worth of my experience from people here. So because of that, long story short, a long intro short, um, The reason why I say all of this is because in my journeys, I've seen people make money the really smart way, and I've seen people make, including myself, go about it in the dumbest way possible. And that's what truly inspired me to make this show. So here's my intention today. I want you to walk away from this particular episode knowing that you don't have to become someone different to do something different with your life. I want you to understand that you are enough right now to go after your dreams here. So let's get into this. Like I said, I'm a business coach, and so many people that I meet on the streets everywhere I go have some type of like $1 million ideal or even $1 million skill set. And so many people that I meet have these big, ridiculous, exciting passion for what they want to pursue, but they're not going after it. Now, if you ask them why they're not going after it, they'll pretty much tell you the same thing. Oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough training. I don't know where to start. But what I've found is that these are very superficial reasons people give to deflect from the real reason that they truly know in their heart. The real reason is that they don't feel like they have the confidence, the charisma, and the follow through to actually make their dreams happen. Simply put, they just don't feel like a boss. So here's what happens. Instead of going after what they want, what they do is they downgrade and get regular practical jobs. And at the same time, they still wish that they were bosses. They still wish that they were go getters. They still wish they were just like the hustlers. So, what they do is they read the books that successful people read. They listen to all the podcasts, all the right podcasts, and all the podcasts that have been ranked as far as go getters and high achieving people. They follow a bunch of motivational people on social media, etc., hoping that whatever magic they have will somehow just rub off on them. And they'll finally have the will, the drive, the motivation to finally just go for it. What's tragic to me here is that, in my personal opinion and my experience and observation, this is completely unnecessary. Why? Because people already have a high performance mode that they can shift to anytime, anywhere to accomplish what they want. And I'm speaking real shit right now. I call this process activating your best operating savvy self or your inner boss. Everyone, including you, if you're listening right now, including you, has tapped into a version of yourself where you just dove headfirst into a desire and you just figured it out. You were intentional, or you were intentional about making something happen, so you didn't let up until you did. And then when unexpected obstacles arose, like, you just adapted and you just kept it moving. We all have that story. The problem is, most of us can only activate this high performance mode when they're either like really excited or like really mad. And we fail to understand how we can do that on command. And this is why I'm making this episode. And this is why it's so important, because I figured it out. That's my claim to fame. I cracked the code. Not only is it surprisingly easy, you can literally start activating this inner boss that I'm talking about in minutes with a simple strategy. So today I just want to kind of go over what that strategy is, or specifically give kind of an explanation on how it works. So here's the explanation. Let's talk about motivation for a second. Most of us don't actually understand how motivation happens. We feel it because of reasons that we don't understand. A lot of times we think that motivation is just one of those things where it's just like we like something so much that we are just have this drive to be close to it, be near it, nurture it, go after it, stuff like that. But actually, on a scientific level here, motivation is a result of four basic things: extreme clarity, deep emotional connection, confidence, and 100% commitment. Here's what I mean: if you can make a mental shift in four of those areas that I just mentioned as it relates to your specific goal, you will literally unleash your deepest hunger for success. And hunger changes the DNA of how you operate in the world. This is the beauty behind it. This is the magic behind it. You think you're shy, but wait till you get hungry. A lot of people be like, "Oh, I'm a shy person." Not when you're hungry, because when you're hungry, you will talk to strangers. You ever be in a restaurant and you be like, you see, and you're hungry, and you've been to the restaurant the first time, you don't really know what's going on in a restaurant, and you see somebody come past you with something that smells really good, and they take it over to a table that's nearby. You will introduce yourself to strangers like, "Hey, what do you have over there?" Because I want the same thing. That's what hunger does to you. It overcomes all of the things that you think you don't have here. This is what happens here. That's what's special about hunger. Hunger makes all of your excuses sound dumb or just seem non existent. Because I don't have enough time. Yes, you do. You're just not hungry enough. Just like when you're hungry, you're hyper aware of all the places that you can eat because you're hungry. But when you're hungry for success, it works the exact same way. When you're hungry, you become hyper aware and hyper aggressive about your time. You see free time everywhere when you want something, when you're hungry enough. You notice that people are wasting your time way more often when you're hungry. When you're sitting down and you're saying, "I want to get this thing done in the next 2 weeks or 2 months or a year or something like that," you started taking a lot of inventory of how much idle conversation that you get in and on a daily basis when you're hungry. Because you start noticing, I've been talking to this guy a lot and we ain't talking about shit for real. You know what? Hey, I don't mean to be rude or anything like that, but I got to get back to what I was doing. That's what hunger does to you. It makes you very, very conscious of your time and how much time you really do have. Another thing here is that people say, "Oh, Chris, I don't have enough money." No, you're just not hungry enough to ask for shit for free. That's what's happening there. That's what's going on. You're just not hungry enough to ask for it for free. All right, so when I was a freelance painter, I used to think that I needed to have like an inventory of paint stocked up before I could get to work. Um, that's how I thought it was supposed to happen. Was supposed to have it all on hand, and then I would go out. I would tell people I was an artist. I would tell people what I would do, and I would be like, "Hey, let's get started." And then I would already have the paint there. But baby, when I became a starving artist and I was like low on cash, literal hunger kicked in and I got bold very, very quickly. And I just started saying people like on the fly, like, "Hey, I can do this for you. I can do whatever you need me to do. But you're gonna need to pay me upfront for these art supplies to get started." And guess what? They paid me. They gave me the money that I needed for the art supplies to get started. Plus, they gave me a non refundable deposit just for my time. And I asked for that because I needed it because I was so hungry. And then something happened. I realized that I could have just been doing that the whole time. I passed out thousands of dollars of extra money because I was just trying to look like a real professional. Hunger showed me that not only was my excuse dumb, but it was literally costing me money. And that's what's special about hunger because that's what the inner boss is. It's hunger incarnate. It's the most hungry version of you, a version that refuses to accept excuses, especially dumbass excuses. Is a version of you that takes charge of your life and just gets shit done. And when you learn to activate it, it is literally life changing. And I can say that from experience here. I like to joke that I am a reformed loser, but that is really true. Before I was a coach, my life was in absolute shambles. Like I said, I was really good. I was an artist. I had a whole lot of potential, but by the time I was 25, all of that stuff had gone out of the window, man. And I felt like, despite all of my potential, despite everything that I had going on, I just felt like I had squandered my youth and squandered all my opportunities and lost all of my potential. And what I realized is that all of the things that I was good at when I was that young just didn't translate to other areas in my life when I got older. And I didn't just feel like a failure, like I felt defective. And I was convinced that I had to be more to do more. And a lot of you know what that feeling is. A lot of you know that feeling of, I seem to be activating and working in these particular conditions with these people on this particular task, but I can't seem to make that transition to have that version of me be a part of every part of my life. So I just figured that I just didn't have enough skills. I just didn't know enough. I just didn't have the right skill set to be the type of man that I wanted to be. So that's what I did. I started to just collect skills. I got into everything that you can think of. Like, I learned how to speed read. I learned how to read body language. I learned how to just like emotional connection and understanding, like just how to decipher all kinds of feelings, and just really got into psychology. I got into accelerated learning. I got into all kinds of stuff, and I learned all of these skills, these world class skills, and I became the shit in any particular area of my life. But what was happening here, even though I was becoming more, I didn't have more drive. I didn't have more follow through. In fact, it became this vicious cycle that was the opposite. I was caught in this constant preparation cycle where the more I gained, the more I felt like I needed. So I couldn't start yet because I had all of I know I still needed more. I still needed to read that book. I didn't read this book. I didn't go to this conference. I didn't talk to this guy. I didn't follow this guru. And it became this constant cycle of preparing for success, preparing and gearing up to actually get the fuck started, until I decided that this isn't working. And I turned inward. And once I did that, that's when I understood. That's when I started to meet the inner boss. And that was a game changer for me. Not only did I radically transform my own life and get myself out of the hell that I was living in prior to that, I accomplished 10 years worth of my dreams in about three and a half. And I'm talking about big stuff. Like, like I paid thousands of dollars in debt. I fixed my credit score. Like, the IRS was like taking my money every year because my credit was so bad and I was in default on my student loans and stuff like that. So they were just taking my money every year. I fixed all of that. I couldn't drive. I didn't have a license. I got my license, bought my first car in cash. I started like several business ventures, including being a life coach. I went from being a college dropout, because that's what I was. That's what was going on in my life. When I was 25, my life was in shambles. I was a college dropout, scooping ice cream for a living, at a ice cream shop that could not afford to pay me. So they were so behind on paying me that I was behind on my rent because I was living at the YMCA, and it was only $400, but I was behind like 3 or 4 months. I ended up getting kicked out of there. That's how bad everything was. I used to have to walk 25 blocks, and I'm talking about Chicago city blocks, to get to work because I just couldn't afford bus fare. Fast forward to years later, I ended up being a keynote speaker at colleges, going from place to place, teaching people about entrepreneurship and all kinds of skills, getting paid hundreds of dollars an hour. Prior to that, I was getting paid maybe $11 an hour. And this is the shift that I made just in a few years. Not even to mention getting, I didn't have a wife or a girlfriend, no prospects at all. I got married, had children, all types of stuff. My life radically transformed because I tapped into that version of myself that's super kick ass and literally followed through on everything that I wanted to, not just in business, but just in life. So once I had that transformation going for me, I was like, this is it. I gotta. I have to share this with everybody. Everybody has to know about this. And that's when I got into life coaching, and then that's when I got into business coaching, and now that's why you're looking at my face right now, or hearing my voice, I guess. So, like I said, I'm wrapping this up. I do want to leave you with a gift, as promised. Remember how I said activating your inner boss requires four things or four mental shifts: clarity, connection, confidence, and commitment. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to give you the gift of clarity right now. And I'm not talking about any type of clarity, I'm talking about boss level clarity. And it's a type of clarity that comes from finding your business North Star. So, finding your business North Star is actually a business exercise. It's a free exercise where I show you step by step how to write a world class description of your business venture, whatever it is, whatever idea you have. I'm going to show you how to write it in a way that's just world class and kick ass. Of all the things that I can teach you to do, finding your business North Star is the most critical step in starting a business. This is why I'm focusing on this episode and this particular service right now. It is the very first step in activating your inner boss. It is what literally I did to get to where I am today. And it's just, I cannot stress how important this step is. It makes almost every step of starting a business and creating a business much, much, much more easier here. And it stops, like when people skip this step, it literally costs them months of unnecessary headaches and it costs them thousands of extra dollars in startup costs. Hence the value of finding your business North Star, because when you have it, it literally acts as a guide that safely navigates you through every aspect of starting your business. And it saves you a boatload of time and money in the process here. So that's what a world-class business subscription can do. It can act as that light to guide you everywhere you need to know. Plus, the coolest thing about the exercise that I personally created is that you can literally do it in minutes. So there's no excuse not to do it. I hear people say, "Oh, I don't have enough time," or this, that, and other. Literally, you can get this done in minutes. And it's the most important step you can do for your business here. Once you're finished, here's what you'll have. You'll have a mission statement that specifically describes who you are, what you do, who you serve, what success looks like. It's going to be in language that's simple enough for a child to understand, and that's super important. Again, I cannot stress this enough. You need a business North Star. You need boss clarity. Why? Because if you cannot describe what you do well, no one will pay you to do it. If you can't explain what you do, no one will tell you to do it. No one will give you money for it. But more importantly, clarity creates confidence. So I said before that this is the first step in activating your inner boss. Without a North Star, you're not fearless or motivated enough to do the things that you need to get done to get off the ground. You just don't have it. So, this is what I want you to do now. I want you to take action, not tomorrow, not today, but like right now. I want you to go to www.chrisellis, so ChrisEllis dot TV, Tango Victor /start, and I want you to sign up on my mailing list, and you're going to get the free guide in order to do this. You're going to get an email that says, "Hey, congratulations, you signed up, you're doing it big. Here's the exercise." It's super easy, and you can do it in 30 minutes or less. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stop being intimidated. This is the whole point of today. I want you to stop being intimidated by your dreams, and I want you to activate your inner boss. And that comes with finding your business North Star. Again, go to www.chrisellis.tv /start and find your business North Star. Okay, that wraps up our show for today. Tune in next week where we're going to continue the conversation, and I'm going to talk about how clarity is absolutely mandatory for success. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I love you guys for doing that. Also, share it wherever it can be shared, on Twitter, on Facebook, on through text on your phone. Just send the link, man. Uh, and yeah, man, I will see you same time, same bat channel next week. Yeah, this has been fun. Love you guys and peace. I should like get a closing statement. That's like for me. I don't know what that would be. So if you have any ideas of how I should close this thing, let me know. Give me some catchphrases. All right, then. I will talk to you guys later. See you soon.